Hello my friends! In today's video we will take a look at Feelworld MA6 and also MA5 displays, mainly intended for on-camera use. These are brand new Master Series monitors by Feelworld, which already has pretty good reputation for making high quality and also budget-friendly monitors, and this is their newest model, which promises some very useful features and improvements. So in this video we will take a look at the screen, menu, input, output, build quality and other important stuff to find out whether MA6 or MA5 is the right monitor for you. This will mainly be a review of MA6, which is 5.7-inch version, but I also have MA5, which is 5-inch version, but this one has cracked screen, but I can still tell you about the differences. Both MA6 and MA5 come with a lot of accessories, including the rotatable arm, ball head, micro HDMI and mini HDMI cable, sun hood, carrying pouch, 2200 mAh battery, and even USB charger, which is really nice. MA6 also comes with sun hood mounting construction. MA5 doesn't need it because it has it integrated. The build quality on MA6 is actually very good, which is quite unusual with monitors in this price range. The construction is metal and it feels very solid. The buttons feel sturdy, the finishing is really nice, and there are also vents or openings on the rear side, probably to prevent the overheating. You also have an option to switch detachable 1/4-inch mount from the bottom of the screen to the left side. Those 4 threads for mounting 1/4-inch mount also leave some options for cage manufacturers. There are also 4 slots on the display for mounting the construction for the sun hood. Unlike the MA6, MA5 is made of plastics, but it still feels okay for this price category, and it also has some vent on the rear side for ventilation. The difference is that on MA5 you have 3 1/4-inch threads on 3 sides of the monitor for mounting the monitor onto the camera or accessories onto the monitor. Regarding the ports, on both MA5 and MA6 there are both HDMI input for signal from the camera and HDMI output for passing the signal through the monitor into another device. There is also a headphone jack out on both, which is especially useful on Sony A7III and A6500, which don't have headphone output, and there is also mini USB port on both for firmware updates. The difference is that on MA5 you have both 12-volt input for powering the monitor and 8.4-volt output for powering the camera using the battery mounted on the monitor. On MA6 there is only 12-volt input for powering the monitor. Regarding the power source, the MA5 has dual battery plate, which means that you can use both Sony NP-F series batteries and Canon LP-E6 batteries. MA6 comes with Sony NP-F compatible battery plate, but you can also get plates compatible with Canon LP-E6 batteries, Panasonic D28S batteries, or Sony U60 batteries. You can also use the MA6 without battery plate and power it only by 12-volt input. And now let's move on to the most important part of the monitor, which is the screen. Both MA5 and MA6 use 1920 by 1080p Full HD IPS screen with 16:9 aspect ratio. As I have said, the MA6 uses 5.7-inch screen, whilst the MA5 uses 5-inch screen. Some improvements have actually been made to the screen. Polarizing filter has been added for better outdoors visibility, and Feelworld also claims just 10 millisecond response. In the real world use, I have to say that I really like the colors on this monitor out of the box. It is adjusted to Rec 709 profile, the sharpness is great, so you can check your focus very easily, and especially if you are used to Sony screens, using screen like this is kind of like switching from your old Nokia to proper smartphone screen. You can adjust the colors or brightness if you want to, but I am personally fine with out-of-the-box colors, and I usually shoot in flat profile anyway. The viewing angles are also very decent. For outdoor use I recommend using the sunshade, although the screen is bright enough for outdoor use. Regarding the supported HDMI input format, it supports Ultra HD 4K, which is 3840 by 2160 pixels up to 30 frames per second, but I've tested it with 4K 60p on my Panasonic G9 and it worked just fine. DCI 4K, which is 4096 by 2160, is supported only in 24p, and I unfortunately don't have any camera that I could test it with, so I don't know whether it would work in 25 or 30 frames per second. Full HD is natively supported up to 60p. It features a lot of advanced options or aids for filmmaking, such as focus peaking, so it will outline contrast parts of the subject that is currently in focus. It is pretty accurate, but it is like low-level peaking, so it is sometimes difficult to see. You can also choose the peaking color. Histogram is available as well, and so are the zebra stripes that will let you know what part of the frame is overexposed depending on how you set it up. False colors are available as well. Those will kind of separate the colors in the frame depending on the luminance, which is also a way to determine correct exposure. Magnification and pixel-to-pixel mode are also very useful tools that will help you with manual focusing. Some other functions worth mentioning are the possibility to flip the image, to use anamorphic mode, and grid line that can help you with composition. I have tested this monitor with A7 III and Panasonic G9. It works great with Panasonic cameras without any problems, and big advantage is that when you are using it with GH5 or GH5S, those will allow you to load LUT into the camera, and that can also be applied to HDMI output, so we will be able to see how the footage will look with LUT applied on this monitor. I unfortunately don't have GH5 or GH5S at my disposal at the moment, so I can't show you that. It works well with Sony A7 III and Sony A6500 as well, but problem is that Sony cameras won't show you information like exposure settings through HDMI while outputting 4K signal, which is unfortunate. The display on camera will also turn off when you start recording. This is not a problem of the display, it is a problem with Sony cameras, and I will also like to thank Linus from TechLine channel for pointing this out. These monitors come with included aluminum mount, and this mount is actually very solid, and it also has extra cold shoe for mounting accessories. This is a very practical way of mounting the monitor, because it lets you very easily adjust the angle, or you can fully rotate it and use it as selfie screen, which is particularly useful with Sony cameras and other cameras that don't have rotatable screen. If I don't need to move the camera much, I mostly mount it to the camera cage using small Rignato handle kit 2027 with clamp for 15mm rods in combination with 4-inch 50mm carbon fiber rod 1871 and mounting plate 1906. This whole setup is attached to integrated NATO rail on the cage. All parts are easy to attach and detach without using tools, and the backside of the mounting plate is also suitable for storing excess cable, or it gives you extra cold shoe. Tilting the monitor up or down is also very easy with this setup. This handle also adds one more 1/4-inch thread for mounting whatever you want to, and it makes carrying this setup much easier. Regarding which monitor would I recommend? I recommend getting MA6 if you don't necessarily need to keep your rig as small as possible. The build quality of MA6 is much better. I also think that 5.7 inch might be the perfect screen size for on-camera monitor, but that is just my personal preference, of course. The main advantage of smaller MA5 is that you can use it to power your camera using 8.4 volt output and dummy battery, which will greatly improve your battery life. So this will be especially useful for Sony cameras using NP FW50 batteries, like in A6500 and A6300. There are just two things that I don't like that much. The first one is the menu system, which is similar to other monitors at this price point. It is a bit slow to navigate using the buttons, but you fortunately don't need to use it that much, and you can also set up two function buttons on the top of the monitor. I use those for rotating the image and for turning the focus peaking on and off. The other minor thing that I don't like is that the red LED is also on all the time, so it drains the battery a bit, but that is also common with similar monitors. To sum up, both Feelworld MA5 and MA6 are in my opinion great and very budget-friendly monitors. Both come with a lot of accessories, and using these just makes my whole video production easier, which is something that I always appreciate. Apart from the menu system and always on LED, I don't really have any major complaints, so I do recommend these monitors, especially at that price point. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching. I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share your opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.